Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and a different setting again. Still on vacation, but I found a much nicer room, much more comfortable to sit down. I know, weird camera angle about the roof, but I think that's just something that we have to deal with on the surface. I can't just... Anyway. But yeah, so I'm still on vacation, and news has been kind of slow. I will be making an update video on what happened with that, with my little Korean friend who attacked me at Uber. We're just waiting for a few more details. But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting what happened to him. But I wanted to discuss an article I read today, and I will link to the article below. I'm not going to be reading from it because there's really not a whole lot of reason to read from it. The guy is pretty much, reinforcing some of the things I've been saying on this channel for several months now, and who knows, maybe it could even be years. I don't know. But basically, he started writing and started wondering, can Uber actually survive? He thinks they're doomed. Now, I want to stay up front. I do not think Uber's doomed. I think they are going to need to change how they do business drastically, especially some of the things highlighted in the article. But I don't think it's doomed. I think it's... Here's the thing. If they never, ever, ever change, then yes, they're doomed. They are totally doomed if they never change. But they've got at least 7 good years before they run out of money. Let's give them 5 because they get sued a lot. They've got 5 years to pretty much work out their business model, how they want to make money better. And that's enough time for competitors to come in to basically make Uber reevaluate how they do business. Should have come down to that. So, a lot can happen in that time, and Uber can definitely learn their lesson. I don't know if they actually will, but they could. But the article was very... here's the thing. Interestingly, the one thing the article did not point out was that the drivers are not paid enough. And maybe that was intentional. Maybe because when you're writing about how the sky's doom and gloom for Uber, how they're not making money, how they need to do this, how their autonomous vehicles are at least decades away, best case scenario, before they can even implement this strategy. Maybe talking about how paying drivers better is not necessarily in the cards and making your argument. But I would like to add to the argument, because here's some of the arguments he had. Uber blows through a lot of cash. They subsidize most of the rides. Like, they don't charge enough for the rides to cover the cost of them. Let's see here. They keep getting sued. I mean, recently Google sued them, but they've got like 3 lawsuits. They can't afford all these lawsuits forever. And one of these companies are going to not want to settle. I don't think Google's going to want to settle. I think they're going to have to fight that one for the long haul. They mentioned that competitors have come up to show that everyone else can do Uber as well. In fact, the taxi industries, they've got their own apps now. So soon the taxi industries, you can be like Uber. They mentioned the toxic workforce when it comes to female employees. This is true. I think it's become very apparent, especially with how much attention Travis Kalanick has been giving to the situation, that is a real problem, and they need to fix it. And of course, he's mentioning how Uber has wasted billions of dollars on China and India, and they didn't win that. They didn't win the China fight. They cashed out, and the company that they cashed out to, Didi, is now going to be entering the U.S. market. So who knows what's going to happen to that one? And India is not profitable yet, much like the rest of the world. And they're investing in things like the flying car. Like the flying car. I'm not going to use the Clerks clip again. But anyone who hunted down the full clip knows that it's like, is this really something Uber can afford to be investing a lot of money in? They're investing money in they're investing in the delivery market, the autonomous vehicles, the flying car. I can think of at least one of these things that's going to be wasting millions of dollars and will have absolutely no near-term effect of happening anytime soon. And they could just drop that. He also mentions Uber Pool as a problem, because Uber Pool, even though Uber takes more money from Uber Pool, the drivers don't like it, the riders don't like it. Nobody likes Uber Pool. So this article shares all of that. Now, here's why I understand that they didn't bring up the drivers. Because when you're making a article that argues that Uber needs to start making money, paying the drivers more, that doesn't look like it's really making you any more money, but in reality, it is making you money. And here's how it makes you money. One of the reasons that Uber can be in a decline and why Tried, which I will be making videos about Tried at some point. I need more experience with them first, but I will make videos on Tried. The whole concept of Tried is that, yes, you do pay more upfront, but there's no surge. You're guaranteed a good driver and a good car. Uber doesn't guarantee you anything. Heck, with the surge, they don't even guarantee that your ride's going to cost the same coming home as it does when you leave the house, which can definitely be a problem. And guess what? When the prices don't match, it reflects on us. It doesn't reflect on Uber. Hate to tell you that. I have long been an advocate for Uber, including several multiple choice options after you grade someone a certain low star. And if they pick certain ones, like I thought the ride was too expensive, then the driver should automatically get a 5-star, because that is obviously not reflective of the driver. That's reflective of Uber, and they're trying to rate Uber, not us. But, good luck telling Uber that. So, but why it would be good to pay the drivers more is because here's the thing. Drivers have commented many times that one of the reasons they don't like lower wages, aside from the fact we're doing more work for less money, is that with those low prices come a certain clientele that are willing to pay those kinds of prices. And they are very volatile sometimes. And it seems very obvious that, you get riffraffed when your prices are that low. Have you ever wondered why the Uber and driver and passenger altercation stories have risen since the prices have gone super cheap? Because thugs and gangster teens and stuff, they will use Uber. They can afford to now, and it attracts that kind of clients. However, here's the other thing. On the flip side of the argument, it works on the rider's side as well, because because when you have prices that are that low, you also attract drivers who are willing to drive for that much money. You attract cars that are worth that kind of money. Why do you think Uber opened up the vehicles so that, it used to be like it had to be in the last 10 years. Now you have like the last 20 years or 15 years to register your car to Uber. So you can drive. I've heard some people get on this platform and they have like a 1998 car. That would be inconceivable 3 years ago that Uber would let a car that old onto the platform. But they need drivers, and they don't want to raise the prices, which would attract good drivers to come back. But so they just open it up. So when you have prices that pay that low, all the quality drivers that you used to see stop driving for Uber. And to fill the hole, Uber starts taking on all these drivers that aren't very good. They might not smell very good. They might not dress very good. And you can rate them poorly on the platform, but you know what? I'm actually thinking the ratings are mattering less and less now, because, they just can't afford to be deactivating people the way they used to. They can't. And I know some people say, well, the market's oversaturated. That is true. But there's still time. It's also oversaturated in the sense that there's not enough business to handle them right now. That's the thing about the rideshare industry, like most retail industries. The demand goes up and down, as it were. And during the summer, it's going to go up, and you're going to have a bunch of really crummy drivers. Some of those drivers that are active now might not even be driving in the summer. They might have found summer jobs that pay better. You never know. But we all know it's not enough. The tip option would certainly help, but since apparently Uber is resisting that, the people who are willing to drive for that but need tips to compensate, they're going to drive for Lyft. And so the passengers, so it's the low rates are no win for anyone. The drivers get crummy passengers. The passengers get crummy drivers. So as a result, that creates a bad experience for everyone. It creates a bad long-term investment on Uber's part. So that's how paying your drivers better would result in more money later on. Because here's the thing. Uber needs to be aware of this. There are competitors. There's more than just Lyft now. We have Tried now. We have Juno. Sidecar came and bit the dust, but I think Sidecar came at a bad time. Sidecar came at a time when people weren't upset with Uber and Lyft. Had they launched now, I think they might have been in a much better position to survive. Personal theory. Have no idea if that's actually true. We'll have to wait and no way to know now, obviously. But competition is coming, and one of these competitors will figure out how to do it properly. And once they figure out how to do it properly, then Uber's money-losing philosophy and strategy will no longer work. It's just that simple. So, I will link to the full article below. It was a fascinating read. Here's the thing. And again, I want to stress, I don't think Uber's toast. Provided they don't completely stay stubborn this whole time. But they are in trouble. They are in trouble, but I think they've got enough cash and enough goodwill from the people that they could turn around in the next 5 years. Although I have to say 2017, like if they thought 2016 was a bad year, 2017 isn't going to be the year for the driver. It's going to be the year that Uber has to manage their PR as best as they possibly can, because I don't think a week has gone by that I haven't reported on something that people hated Uber for. And Uber has never been this hated before. I mean, people use them because they're one of the only services that do it. But again, that's where the competition comes in. Once the competition comes in and there's another option, people will bail on them. They will. They absolutely will bail on Uber. So 2017, this is going to be a very crucial year for the company, I think. But what do you guys think? I've rambled long enough. Like, holy cow, 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Read the article and then tell me what you think of the article. And do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? I know some of you already are pretty much... I can see you writing your comments right now, like, the ride is over. They're coming to an end. Still a little too early to say that, I think. But you know what? You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect it. And, you know, after reading this article, I can't necessarily say that you're completely inaccurate. You might even be right. I mean, I've been running businesses long enough to know that it's going to take a little bit more than this, but who knows. And like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.